My name's Nova, this is Film Express, and today we're going to be talking about the new Keke Palmer and SZA comedy movie, One of Them Days. Let's dive right in. It's tough to admit this, but the comedy genre feels very much like it's been on its last legs lately. It's a dying genre, if we have to keep it real. It's very rare that we get a comedy film that's even just acceptable, let alone funny, let alone watchable and rewatchable. And guys, I have to say, Lawrence Lamont's One of Them Days is one of those films, a shining light in a very, very dark period for comedy films. There's a certain undeniable charm to this movie. It hasn't been achieved or replicated in a long time. I feel like every comedy's attempting to do what One of Them Days has done, but most of them can't even come close. I haven't seen many that I've liked in the past couple years, so I wanted to take a moment just to give this movie the flowers that it deserves. The stakes are very low. It's a very, very basic formula. There's nothing really new sprinkled in. It's these lovable characters that make everything so much better because you can't help but smile every time they're on screen. And even if the film seems to meander at times and kind of lose its focus, and sometimes even it gets really silly, it hits you with solid joke after solid joke, all due to the phenomenal delivery by Keke Palmer and SZA. I never even knew SZA could act, but she did a very, very solid job here. She was funny, she was charismatic, and she never really once felt like an amateur. If she does a couple more of these films, she could be a natural, she could be a household name. The chemistry was unmatched, and I can't think of a comedy that had characters with this type of chemistry since maybe The Nice Guys or Superbad or Wedding Crashers. Like, you have to go really, really far back to get something like this. I'm not saying this is a very high rated film. I'm not going to say it's perfect. There's definitely a lot of issues, but the fact that it's just a decent movie, you know, that in itself is worth mentioning because we don't get enough of those these days. The filmmaking here by Lamont was mostly competent. You could just tell that they were having a lot of fun with everything that they were doing on set. There were a couple scenes that were not as well executed. The electrocution scene was just really bad. You know, we don't even have to mince words. The effects were bad. The way it was executed was bad. It was definitely the lowest point of the movie for me. This is like a modern version of the film Friday, but with female leads and a modern lens. And you know what? There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. We need more films like this that are just simple, funny. They're not trying too hard. I feel like One of Them Days is going to be one of those films that you can just throw on at any point and end up watching it and having a decent time. I really do feel like the film could have done more plot-wise. They could have had some extra hurdles in the mix. I feel like most of this was kind of very, very formulaic and predictable. You've seen most of these plot beats before. It's just the jokes are new, the jokes are fresh. At least that keeps you in it, and the energy never really dips. It stays funny, it stays at a consistent speed, it never really slows down, which I have to give it credit for. Also, you know, any film that has Katt Williams being hilarious gets points for me. You can never have enough of that man. So bonus points for Katt Williams. I would definitely rate One of Them Days like a 6 or a 6.5 out of 10, which for comedies is pretty great, and for a film in 2025 is pretty great. So if it seems like I'm being critical of it, I'm just trying to nitpick, I'm trying to point out the flaws, but overall this was completely acceptable, completely watchable. I can even see myself watching this again and not getting bored, you know. Recently I watched Superbad again, I watched The Nice Guys again. Those films are, in my opinion, timeless classic comedies from the past era, from the past 20 years. I don't think One of Them Days is going to be regarded as one of those classic comedies, but the fact that it was decent enough, didn't question my intelligence, and everyone seemed to be having a good time, that for me is very much enough to give this a decent rating. So that's my review of One of Them Days. Definitely a good time. I suggest you watch it. You might even like it more than me. Who knows? And please like, please subscribe. Let's talk about it. Did you guys think SZA did a good job? Did you guys think Keke Palmer did a good job in this movie? What did you think of One of Them Days? Let's talk about it, guys. But my name is Nova. This is Film Express, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. See you later.